If you are struggling to make a decision and follow through with it, you may be in one of the biggest roadblocks I see with my coaching clients. The belief, fear, and pressure that you have to make the right decision.
I feel like I'm supposed to be like a happy vlogger now, but I'm not.
Or phrased differently, you worry that you might make the wrong choice. Today, I am sharing the story of when I made the wrong decision. It felt so bad, what I did about it, and how I built the confidence to decide again. Nobody knows how to say goodbye. Then the moments passed you by. Nobody knows how to say goodbye. This is the story of my partner and I leaving what felt like home to go to the mountains of Montana. We quit jobs, packed bags, paid thousands of dollars to move all of our stuff from Minnesota to Montana, only to do the exact same thing and reverse that trip 1 year later. Moving out here, it felt exciting.
Yeah.
And moving home, it doesn't feel exciting.
No, it feels like a loss. Like going through grief.
For a little bit more context on this story, I grew up in Wisconsin, as did Tyler. He went to school in Wisconsin, and I went to school in Colorado, Minnesota, California, and then back to Minnesota. So in my own life, there had been a theme of going to the mountains and then coming back. So near the beginning of Tyler and my relationship, we moved in together in Minneapolis, but Tyler was called to the mountains, and I was not too hard to convince. Tyler did a lot of the research on where he could find a city that was semi-affordable and had access to skiing and hiking and climbing and bonus mountain biking. It was Ty's idea to come out here. I'm so grateful that we did. Eventually, we landed on the state of Montana. We took action before making a decision about where to move. We drove out and did a week-long road trip in Montana and circled the state. Bozeman, out of all the cities we visited, was perfect. So we put in our notice to terminate our lease in Minneapolis. Our parents were very gracious to house us as we fought for a home in Bozeman because the market was quite competitive before loading our now second U-Haul to move out of our parents' place, what was remaining in storage units in Minneapolis, and then head on over to Montana. Once we arrived in Bozeman, we loved it. The views, the people, the dog parks, the mountains, the hiking and skiing. But there were a few knocks on my heart that made me wonder if I actually felt like that was my home instead of Minnesota. Housing was more expensive in Bozeman. That 18-hour car ride, which we had to take the car because we have a dog, was not an easy feat. My friends started talking about having babies, and although we loved the small town feel of Bozeman, we felt its impact on our businesses a little bit more than we anticipated, especially when compared to just how many opportunities there are in the Twin Cities, Minnesota. At first, all of this actually created a big rift in Tyler and my relationship.
This is making me sad.
But I'll save that for another video. Comment below if you want to hear the full story of the relationship version, deciding and then redeciding. As we wrestled with a lot of these questions, one trip gave both of us the clarity we needed to make our new decision and move back to Minnesota. Last year, I didn't go to my family's lake house in northern Wisconsin until August, and usually I would be there multiple times throughout the summer. As I jumped in the lake for the first time on something like August 8th, it felt so bad, and that feeling was amplified. I need to be home. In August of 2021, we came home for an entire month for a lot of different friend and family events, and during that time, had the opportunity to again feel what it feels like to be close to home, to be in the Midwest, and any uncertainty I had about whether or not to leave Montana was made very clear. I wanted to come home. That was one of those moments I savored so that I could make a hard decision like leaving a gorgeous, amazing, hikeable place like Bozeman. What I emphasize in my decision-making book and on all of these vlogs, that when we take action toward something, in this instance it was taking action toward home, not in the sense of moving our things, but just physically being in the place. This is a great example of how it sped up the decision-making process because I felt what it felt to be in the Midwest, and it was good. For me, it was to be closer to home, to be closer to family. For Ty, it was to be closer to tech in the cities and family. We had a big family event last year that really triggered that. So was it the wrong decision? In one perspective, yeah, it was the wrong decision. We stayed not even for a full year. But do I regret it? Not one bit. I got the opportunity to hike with my dog, to bond with Tyler over incredible mountain views, our nice fireplace apartment, and the adventure of moving. That, in the end, really strengthened our relationship. There's nuance in decision making. This is one of those nuance experiences where it doesn't feel wrong to be here, but it feels even more right to be somewhere else. The reason we're leaving isn't because Bozeman was bad, and the reason we're leaving isn't because we didn't like the mountains and we didn't like hiking and all the things. Other priorities took priority over this one. And sure, I could get caught up in some of the negatives, like how much money it costs to move out and move back, or how much time we spent in our car on those 18-hour drives. None of that outweighs what we learned and what we got to experience. How about our final thoughts of Bozeman?
I love Bozeman.
That was
Bozeman's cool.
I kept looking at the mountains today, the look out our balcony, and it's just so pretty to be able to go out on a hike wherever we want, whenever we want. I think that's a reason why a lot of us stay in a place that's okay, because it's okay and fine. It's comfortable, it's good enough. But if there's something that's calling you, and especially those moments that amplify what is oftentimes just a whisper, there's something that amplifies clarity about what you really, really want. Follow that. If you're scared of making the wrong choice, really ask yourself, what's the best that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? And then what would you do? Even those fears that feel really big in your mind are probably way smaller once you ask yourself, what would I do next? Almost everyone that I coach comes up with a magnificent plan, even in the worst case scenarios. Think about what you gain by making a decision, taking action, and experiencing what you're currently just theorizing. With this fear of making the wrong choice, I think we undervalue just how valuable decisions are. To decide even if it's the wrong decision gives us so much information, so much life experience, and so many lessons about ourselves. So for me, for instance, I really didn't understand the magnitude of how important it was for me to be close to friends and family until I wasn't close to friends and family. Even if you have those insights in your journal or in a meditation or in a therapy session, there is nothing quite like experiencing it in a real life situation. Looking at gorgeous mountains and still wanting to be back in a city because it's closer to friends and family and whatever your version is. It can be more nuanced and more complex in terms of the emotions that we feel, but the decision itself can still feel really clear and confident. That's where I'm at with leaving Bozeman. I feel really clear and confident to leave, and I feel really sad about it at the same time. We chose to move back, even though we were really excited to move out there. Because in moving out there, we got even more clear on our values and priorities, which were hard to prioritize from 18 hours away. I still love the mountains, those views, man, the hiking, the skiing, but at the end of the day, it's more important for me to be close to family than it is for me to be close to the mountains.
It's hard to let go.
Yeah. But right, I mean, we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't right.
Yeah.
I think sometimes there's a perception when we do something that we want to do at our core that's best for us. There's an assumption that that's going to feel always positive and exciting. There's disappointment that it didn't work the way we thought it would a year ago. But there's also, for me, this deep sense of knowing that this is right. So if you're grappling with a hard decision and you're feeling this too,
I feel like I'm supposed to be like a happy vlogger now, but I'm not.
no, this isn't a
I'm
happy
not
time.
happy right now.
Differentiate between, is this a feeling of I'm making a mistake, that downward gut oh no feeling, or is this just grief and sadness and complex emotions? And that's what I'm feeling right now, is grief and sadness and complex emotions. Because I chose to take action, to take my best guess, put myself in a space where I could make a mistake, I learned very quickly and now feel even more confident than ever about what my values are and what my decision is about where I choose to live.
Hey, it's me, the boyfriend, and the dog, and we're feeling lazy and don't want to unpack, but Marin's in the zone. I thought we could check out an artist at work, learn from her mastery.
What are you doing?
Just admiring your unpacking skills.
This is my zone. I like organizing. Otto, we want him here.
I'll go ask him. Hey, so do you want your bag in the kitchen or in the front closet? Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. It's your call. In the kitchen? I'll let her know. Thanks.
I'm not going to sit here and say there is no wrong decision, though I've heard many coaches say that. And maybe you believe that there is no wrong decision, that everything has its own meaning, which I do believe in some instances. But if I'm stuck in indecision, that doesn't feel good because you still likely feel stuck and scared and unsure about the better one or the best decision. So if you're stuck there, ask yourself, what is my best guess right now? What is the best decision in this moment, knowing that I can circle back and make a new decision next? And and also hold so much compassion to your past self for making the best decision that they could make at that time. The more compassion you can give to your past self, the less scary future decisions feel, because you know that even if it is the wrong decision, even if you decide to redecide later on, you're just doing the best that you can right now, and all selves, your past self, your current self, your future self, know this and can hold compassion for the process. I include the 7th step in my decision-making framework for a reason. Begin again. We make decisions all day, every day, and even the big ones, like choosing where to live, can often be re-decided. And for those decisions that we really can't take back, you still have another decision after it. It is my aim that this video finally gives you that confidence boost to move past uncertainty and finally take your best guess, make a decision, and move forward. And guess what? Your best guess might be wrong. Even the decision coach changes her mind about decisions. Ask yourself, then what? Your business idea isn't a smashing success? Then what? You didn't like the guy you decided to date? Then what? You wish you hadn't decided to say that to your sister? Then what? In our minds, this feels huge. These decisions feel like make or break choices. But by asking yourself, then what? Even those worst case scenarios on paper likely have a path through. And getting those fears that feel huge in our minds out make them a heck of a lot smaller. I see it every single day with my coaching clients. So if you're feeling stuck, wondering, what if I make the wrong decision? What if this isn't right? I encourage you, take your best guess and take one baby step forward. And of course, you can always begin again. If you need support to take that next step, that's why I designed my group coaching program, the Yes and Experience, which allows you to take one step at a time toward a life that feels better and more aligned to you. It all starts with a free call, so click the link below to go to my group coaching page and schedule your call to chat one-on-one with me. Next week, I'm sharing a video about goal setting through the lens of positive psychology, one key that you may be missing that is crucial for successful goal attainment in 2022. Until then, I highly encourage you to check out this video next, because in order to make the type of decision I explained today, you have to be really clear on what your values, your goals, your desires, and your unique fears are. This video helps you to outline all of that for yourself in one simple sheet.